This video is one lesson in a series of lessons on database systems using Microsoft Access software. This lesson is based on a scouts and guides scenario. The tables and links are shown here in the table relationships diagram. This lesson demonstrates how to create a complex query and to create the button that will open the query. As a demonstration of the type of output, the user will type in part of a section name such as cub, and the output will show for these two different cub packs the members, and they haven't completed the badge. So the query that we'll make is to list the members who have not completed a badge for a section entered by the user. By definition, a complex query has two or more criteria. Please note that the term complex query has nothing to do with the complexity or level of difficulty involved in making the query. As with any other query, higher level and more comprehensive queries will involve a calculated field, and even more than one of these, and possibly a calculation in the criterion. This query involves creating an interactive query where the user can type in part of the name of a section. The other criterion is there needs to be no completed date, which involves the criterion null. Whilst the wording of the query suggests sections and badges data, it is more informative that the information that is produced also includes members details. So I will include other fields for a more comprehensive display of information. To make this query, I click on Query Design in Design View, and I add the four tables, and I also add a query that I made earlier called Members Details. It is sensible to put the tables in order, and I then will show the member's full name with the member field and the current age of the member from the member details query, and I'm then going to calculate in the builder a field to calculate the number of days working, which is the difference between the current date and the date commenced in the earnings table. And I will then name that calculator field as the number of days working. And I can view the query up to this point, showing that information, and then I add in the name of the section, and again I go to the builder, and this time in the criteria, and I enter in a pair of brackets so that it causes a prompt to occur with the message part of the section name, and then with the wildcard characters and the like. When I run the query, the user is asked to enter in the name or part of the name of a section. So if I type in cub as before, the query produces this output, and then I add to that further by putting in the name of the badge, the date the badge was commenced, the date it was completed, and to obtain an output of badges being currently worked on, the criterion is null. And if I run that query and again type in cub, I find that there are two records produced, and I then save that as badges not completed for input section. And so these two records I can also check by going to the earnings table, and there are two records, one in the WCP where the badge has not been completed yet, and the other is the KCP and the badge is not completed yet.